have suggested we do. We won't get accused of any secret meetings that way.
Are we going to record the rest of the meeting?
When we come back, we'll turn it back on again. And click on, if you decide to go back and have a discussion.
So,
How are we getting over that? What are we doing? Just gonna drive around?
Yeah,
well, I think what we can do is we can put, we're gonna have to split up.
we can put three comfortably in my truck.
And we can put,
Well, myself and 3 people.
well, we can put my van and 3 people also. So if we want to pick somebody up off the street, we can do that. And then we can talk.
Yeah, I'll just turn
telephone
my,
if you call
get my
me.
phone on.
So, okay.
You got a van, you said?
No, I got an SUV.
SUV.
And I can put 4 counting me in
Okay.
there too.
We should be good.
Well, my suggestion was these 2 guys run it together and then we can be in my vehicle. Did you bring money for gas, by the way?
That's humor, I get it.
All right, call this meeting to order. Work session on the sign request from Jimbro Corporation. We're going to take a ride. That's it.
Dunkin' Donuts first?
Should we make a motion to suspend Robert's rules?
What?
When we're in an official meeting, we should be operating under Robert's rules, but if we're not having Robert's rules done so appropriately at the meeting, then we need to suspend them.
Okay.
Make a motion, and I'll say.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
All those opposed? Okay. We ready?
I have a copy of the sign ordinance. And the person can add it if you want to take it.
I'll take it.
Harold, where do you want to go first?
We'll go out, we'll come out here onto Main Street, go to the light, and we can pull up on Easy Street right there and start right there.
Yeah, we can get out of it. When we get to the sites, we'll get out of it.
We can cover 2 of the sites by getting out and actually walking right there.
Okay.
Now, I don't have enough to go around, but I do have.
I got one in my car.
I brought mine in nice.
Okay, so anybody want one of these, take with us.
All right.
What time is this?
Ben,
Okay.
you're bringing one of those with you, Steve?
I'll get those, yeah. I got the ones that I rolled up on.
Okay.
I got grab one of those. Did you want to take one?
No, I'm good. I just wanted to make sure that you had one with you.
I would have, I intended to, or I would have, if you wouldn't fold up, thank you.
I didn't say it was a bad thing.
They said careful, family.
Who turns the light on?
I turned it, oh, they're on.
There we go.
Yep.
There, just come on.
Okay. Questions, comments?
I'd like to make a motion to reinstitute Robert's rules.
All in favor? Okay. Harold, is there anything you want to add at this point?
No, I think we toured all proposed sites. Unless you guys have questions for me associated with those sites.
Is there going to be any underground work done in terms of like wiring or electricity or anything like that to any of them?
No, the intent right now is to not be lit signs, so the only type of work that would be going on is there'd be a hole for like a sonotube, a host installed, very minimal.
What are we gonna have to get into, Steve, as far as the size issues here, or?
We have to revise the sign ordinance so
Right.
that his request would work. And I think a lot of it would be just in the definition of what a directional, traffic directional sign is, and that's gonna be worded just so, does it say, proposed traffic directional signs. If we could come up with a definition of what those were and where they could be located, that's what we would need to do.
What's your time frame on this?
That was my question, what do you see as,
We'd like to install them in the spring. I mean, that's the timeline that we'd like to achieve. Realistically, I mean, May. That'd be a realistic timeline, I think.
Does the state have a definition of directional signs that you know
Not that I know
of?
of. What they have,
Are
those-
they defined in any particular way?
no, they're,
I was
the
just
state
thinking that
government,
might give you something to go
I
by.
think the only thing the state has is those small ones, like I pointed out to you.
But I'm talking about within the regulations itself. You say we gotta change the definition of what a directional sign is in our ordinance. I was just wondering if, because you are working with the state on a couple of them, does the state have a definition of directional signs?
Well, I suggested that Harold talk with the state. But to my knowledge, the only thing they're going to allow is that one that's about 6 inches tall and maybe 2 feet long.
That's what the state will allow?
that's the state's gonna.
Yeah, they have an application you fill out, and you put the intersections down and fill out all of it, and turn it in with a fee, and they buy the sign and put it up.
Now, the ones that we talked about that are going on the buildings, is that anything that, are we involved in those as well?
Well, we are, the way our sign ordinance reads, yeah.
So directional, whatever, is different than advertising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be one thing that we'd want to address, it wasn't advertising.
Right.
And
So,
there's
I guess
a
one of my-
regulation that you can't have off-premise signs. They want to confine the signs to the land that the sign pertains to, not down the roadways.
So to make the necessary, to make the necessary changes, is that something we can just do in a meeting? Does that have to be?
Well, what you would do is you would come up with a proposal, and then we would take it to the planning board, and for the planning board approval, and then it would go to the council for the council approval, if the planning board recommends it.
Would it have to go through the ordinance committee?
So I was gonna say, is that to.
Well, the ordinance committee is the council people. Yeah, you're right, though, that, yeah.
I mean, this is just my opinion, I think we might be lost in the weeds a little bit, too, because we're kind of talking apples and oranges, when, I know, Robert, you brought up the signs on the sides of the building. I mean, those in my mind, that's designating that, okay, this is the dispatch office. That this is how you get in the door to go to dispatch, or this is how you get in the door to go to the carpenter shop. And then you've got the signs out in front of some of the locations that designate, okay, this is a particular building. That's the bigger signs. And the ordinance is trying to solve the problem for all of these signs crammed into one description. And it's multiple things, where some of these are directing people in a doorway, some of these are directing people down a road, some of these are directing people to a particular building. And I think there's several different things that we may have to separate some of these out.
Yeah, a sign on a building may not be a traffic directional sign, if you come up with that definition. So there have to be another definition about posting signs on the side of the building. And that right now is limited to the size of the signs within our ordinance. what they're trying to do is stop somebody from, putting Joe's Smoke Shop, 4x8 sign on a 20-foot post or something like that. The ordinance is designed to stop that and try to make it so it's, pleasing to the community and so forth.
Does MMA have any, or could they offer any language or anything that we could maybe use as a template?
It may be, I could check into that.
Because I would be willing to bet that other communities have run into this too.
Well, I was gonna suggest, if you wanted to call a community, and it's not really a community, give Waterville a call. Because Waterville's doing a lot of things right now, especially with their changes to their campus and some of the stuff that they're doing downtown. And maybe they've got some wording in some of their guidelines that might be helpful.
Most of the towns have their ordinances online. You could go and read them.
Okay.
I didn't see anything with any of the signs that were proposed in the plan that's before us. I didn't see any issues with that in particular. I think we just need to rework the
Definitions.
ordinances a little bit.
And what's the timeline on that?
Soon as we can
February,
do it.
so, what's that?
Soon as we can do it, soon as
Right.
people can do it.
Right, if they want to get started in May, then,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's gonna be
So we've
started.
got March and April.
Would the planning board have to have a public hearing as well?
Yeah, the planning board did have a public hearing, and so would the council.
And the ordinance committee?
Well, the ordinance committee is part of the council, so.
Right, but they meet separately.
I haven't been involved too much with that. From the past, they've met, I guess they met separately. I haven't attended them.
Did you all get the notice from Heather about the ordinance committee?
I'll have to look.
The minutes of the
We
last.
receive complaints on a regular basis from people, on finding locations.
I would say multiple times daily.
Really?
People will pull into our corporate office it's not unusual for a truck to pull in with a load of steel that's supposed to be going to the fab shop, and it's parked right in the middle of Honeywell Ave, and the driver's just waiting for a blue and gray truck to drive by so that he can flag him down. Now you've got somebody standing in the middle of the road trying to get directions. It happens, it's very common.
Mostly truck drivers?
It's a combination of the two. We've got, I would say it's probably the combination of three. You've got new applicants that don't know where to go because there's several Chimbro buildings and they all say Chimbro on them, but there's no designation of where they're supposed to go as far as a sign. You've got delivery drivers. I know like your common carriers like your FedEx, UPS, those guys, those are normally a regular person. So the only time we have an issue with them is when it's a fill-in. But it's a lot of the freight carriers that come in that are hauling in loads of steel or third-party companies hauling equipment for us, that kind of stuff that they've never been here and they're just driving around looking for a sign that says Chimbro and they don't know where they're supposed to be delivering. So yeah, it's very common.
I don't have any questions and I don't see any official action that we can take today, other than to say we need to come up with some proposed language and meet again before the next planning board meeting to approve it amongst the committee members, and then so we can get that process started. Because if we have to go over another planning board meeting, we're talking about another month out before anything can happen.
Unless it's a special,
So at the next planning board meeting, what's the group that's meeting at 6:30?
The sludge.
The sludge committee is meeting at 6:30 before the next meeting to talk about some things. We could conceivably do the same thing.
Okay. Is anybody here on the sludge committee?
No.
Does Harold need to get on the agenda after that's done, or while that's being done, or?
Well, I think if we get some things formulated and he wants to,
If you could come up with a proposed ordinance, we could put it on the planning board, and it wouldn't be a special meeting, it would be a planning board meeting to discuss that. And set it, and if the rest of the planning board was in agreement, then they would set it to a public hearing at that meeting.
And I don't think we need to have Harold come in for every one of those meetings, because while this was prompted by Chimbro, I don't think we're not writing the ordinance specific to them, so.
so do you want to have a discussion before the next meeting for wording? Or do you want to have Steve scout around?
When is the next meeting anyways?
It's going to be March the
Uh,
10th.
Yeah, in that vicinity. So it's always the second Monday of the month, unless it's a special meeting.
So not next Monday, but the following one.
Right.
What, March already? Okay.
No,
No, the date's what, 20th,
21.
21? 3 more weeks.
March starts a week from
Calendar,
Sunday.
it's full, it's such a-
yeah, so next Monday next week is the 2nd. So it's the 9th of March,
Yeah, it's a night,
So-
yeah.
10 days from now. I think if we try and put together some language, send it around to all the committee members, just so everybody has it, we can come in with thoughts, make any proposed changes, and then bring it to the planning board. That way we don't have to meet again in person. And obviously, any group emails will be public record.
Yeah, I want to send my packages out on the latest Monday, the 2nd of March. And that's not only the policy, that gives everybody a week to review what's on the agenda and what is presented, the proposed one.
So we have today, essentially. Today, Saturday and Sunday to come up with.
Well, yeah, you're right.
You said they have to go out on the 2nd?
It's usually a week in advance.
Yes, I'd like to get the package to the planning board members and the applicant a week in advance of the meeting, so they have a week to review it, and the applicant has a week to supply any more information that I might suggest is
So
needed.
we have next week.
There's 9 days between now and the 2nd.
Yeah, we have a week.
Yeah, you have next week.
to work on.
So we did-
Today's the 21st, you have all of next week.
That's better.
She's going to be upset.
Why? Flip it open. Okay.
So why don't let's do this. If you have some thoughts and ideas about wording, send them to Steve. You and I can get together sometime next week,
Yeah.
put something together.
Did this committee need a chairman?
No.
No, okay.
But we gotta review, or I gotta review the ordinances, right? And then if the stuff has to be separated out, size, because the size is a part of it, right?
Yeah, and then, yeah. As it is now, there's different sizes for different zoning districts, but if we create a new division, a new section called, the traffic directional signs, called, yeah, traffic directional signs.
And there's only
we
one.
could say those can't exceed a certain size.
And there's probably, what, 3 or 4 directional signs actually here? I mean, that's separate than something that's by the building, isn't it? I mean, that's.
Well, but again, the ordinance says that sign on the building is, is in the ordinance. It needs a permit, it needs a certain size and so forth. So that would be the next thing that we would try to do, is create a building labeling system or so that we could say, yeah, you can have a sign on the side of your building over a door or something like that of a certain size. The object is not to have a hodgepodge of signs. I don't know how you accomplish that.
So action steps coming out of this is to put together some thoughts and some proposed language and send it all to Steve?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm assuming those signs will be blue.
Probably blue, gray, white combination.
Nothing orange or anything like that.
Not right now.
Neon.
Not right now. Okay,
All set?
we all set to hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Anybody who opposes, that's the final one. So we're done.
Stan's motion, you second it.
So Steve, when you get some stuff, just give me a holler.
Okay.
Except Monday. Monday's not a good day. For me, I'll be out of town Monday,
All right.
but next week Sunday. Otherwise, next week Sunday.
Cool.
Okay. Good.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you, gentlemen. If there's anything that you need for information that I can help with, don't be afraid to reach out.
Setting up some displays.
I mean, we've got 5 months before we bring one.
Yeah, but
Jan's a planner.
I mean, if you have ideas, you can let me know, we'll put together, you can put together a display, it's fine. I'm not saying no.
I was thinking because if we can get some things in there.
We're good for next
A
week.
couple of requests. People are asking.
Say word.
Yeah, touch base with I guess.
He may have already said the tone's out. He was
It's not like this, you know, community groups.
kind of forgetful at times,
I talked to him yesterday, and I said, Justin, we gotta talk to.
So if
but.
it's
So I talked to him, I called him yesterday because he wanted a fire pit.
some semblance.
Yeah,
Form
all that
stuff.
stuff moved, yeah.
And he said that he was gonna put the cones out for everything.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
don't know
what we before.
Yeah, I got a pretty good idea, but I just haven't put the cones up, where
You
exactly.
have to be careful about
And I said, I'll provide the charges, just.
putting too much stuff in there.
Talk to you first, and then.
Anything
Go from
that's
there.
too valuable.
Feel free to just take the loader and just scrape the snow right off the top of the football field.
It's a good way to get shot. I know what the end result, that's gonna.
Oh, that's weird. That's good, of course.
Kind of like by the train depot, right?
Yeah.
Which some people.
Did you see somebody drove a snowmobile right around?
That doesn't surprise me.
Right around.
You know, one of the things I
That
can do.
stake
Yeah.
going off right around.
Out there, I got my shot. Really?
Just do sign.
They just crossed the
Yeah, they did pretty good, and I stopped them. Doing this big old sign on the pilot, trail closed.
You know, cross, strike.
One day, 4 or 5 young guys went by, and I happened to be there.
Where you don't.
Caught them on the web road.
And then-
That's nice, and they were polite.
Yeah, like.
I said, that trail's closed. I said, well, we didn't realize it. I said, but just drove right by that sign.
Saves
Did you
a lot
not
of
see that
time.
sign? They said, and they turned around with that, but they were good. I remained calm. I said, you know, the trail's closed.
If you
Put it on, slap it up.
Oh, my God.
Have you-
I tell you, big old
It happens all the
sign.
time. There,
No.
it's not just around
So
here.
put it on-
It's everywhere, like even up north on the big trails.
Yeah.
Like they've got
Yeah,
one
okay,
trail
word,
that,
word.
it's one of the main arteries that goes
We
in
have-
French
we have
Hill,
it in
that
there.
heads over to Fort Kent.
Yeah.
You can't open it, they got
Documents
documents
on your Google Drive?
and all, simple sign, stop.
No, I don't,
Log
no, I
numbers.
just
Yeah.
tried it.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Just where the stop
Because
sign.
yeah.
You should, before you cross it, because there's a blind corner,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
cross around the corner,
Yeah.
and there was a, I think it was in the paper or something on Facebook or something, that said, you know, losing a life because of your own stupidity is one thing, but somebody having to live with the fact they ran over you
Right.
because you didn't stop.
Yeah, they go with that.
That,